And the meeting is called to order. And the first order of business is to review and adopt the agenda. I need a motion.
I move we adopt the agenda.
I have a motion to adopt the agenda. And before we go any further, I want to remind us that we're operating under Robert's Rules of Order for small business, for small boards, which one of the features is that it does not require a second for any motion. And that's why when I have a motion, I will put it to you right away. If you have a motion to approve the minutes, excuse me, to adopt the agenda, is there discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next item on the agenda is the prior minutes. The minutes of the June 11th have been sent to all of the members. Is there a motion to deal with the minutes?
I move we approve the minutes.
I have a motion to approve the minutes of June 11th. Is there discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Anyone opposed? Under old business, we have already taken care of signing the approved subdivision for Harry Gordon. We need one more signature and you can deal with that.
Yeah,
Get somebody to come in.
I'll send out an email.
Yeah.
But
And,
we're gonna be closed the 4th and 5th, so. And I'm not gonna be here tomorrow, so I'll send out an email,
it'll be,
but
you know,
yeah,
it'll be what it'll be, and when it's signed, they can go and.
right, and then I'll record it, yeah.
Okay. That being taken care of, the other item under old business is the Norco Leo application for a variance. Some of us have been on a site visit this, you remember? It was my hope that we could make a decision based on what we know, what's been submitted. And as you remember, let me take care of this. John, maybe you can take care of this thing here. This is my copy of the important thing.
Yeah, I'll just stick with my stuff over here on my file here.
Okay. And this is a graphic of what they want to do.
Did you send us this?
I think at some point
Not the receipt.
I sent them all of those things to the members. I just brought it along
Okay, good.
to make sure that we know. So they're in a tough spot, we know that. But
let's go down the criteria.
well, and that's basically why I made sure that the criteria were attached to all of the mailings that I did.
Running Road is what's been renamed Sherman.
It's well, it's Sherman Road now.
Yeah. And where's the farm?
Well, it's up here.
Past
Here.
Oh, past it, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a picture here.
Oh, thank you, that's
See?
wonderful.
This is Sherman Road.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, this is the farm,
right,
and that's where, that's that.
That's right.
Yep.
So, I think what we need, and George is right, we need to take a look at the requirements for granting a permit.
Okay, I look at number 1 and I say that's okay.
Let me see what I have here.
right to the.
Oh, I just pulled it out of Not yours.
It was on the back of the agenda.
Let's see.
Can't you say about number one that it's okay or it's not a problem?
I think number one is okay.
Read it to us.
Right?
Read it to us. What do you think is okay?
There are unique physical circumstances and conditions, including regularity, narrowness or shallowness of outsize of shape, or exceptional topographical or other physical conditions for this particular property.
Okay. So you're suggesting that condition is met.
Yes,
Okay. What about number two?
I have a big question mark on that one.
Okay. Well, as I said before, and as I have reiterated at any time, in order to grant a permit, we need to find that all five conditions have been met. All five of them, not just one or two, but all five. And that's a requirement not only in our regulations, it is a requirement also in the state regulations. So,
Joe, have all the neighbors been notified?
all of the neighbors have been notified of any of the meetings that we have.
Okay. And has there been any feedback
But this
from the
isn't a
neighbors?
warrant. It's not a warrant thing yet, so they haven't got notices like what we would do with
Well,
a
it's
warrant
not-
public hearing.
So they
We
don't
have-
really know what they want to do? The
Pardon?
neighbors don't know what they're planning to do?
There's only one neighbor, and that's Mr.
Sherman.
Sherman.
Yep. Is he aware of what's going on?
Yes.
Very much so. He's the one that sold the property.
Okay, has he made any statements or comments, or does he have any?
He was there when we did the site visit.
Okay, and he's okay with it then, it sounds like.
He's okay with the application being submitted.
Okay, just wanted to know. Thank you.
So, under number two, we have a question, obviously. There's no possibility that property can be developed, and that's not really true because it's already developed. So that condition is not met. Unnecessary hardship has been created by the appellant. I don't think the appellant has created the problem.
No,
It is inherent in the problem
What,
itself.
what's the problem?
The problem is the steepness of
The steepness, okay,
of the property,
okay.
which makes it very hard to make any sort of development that'll meet
Yeah, I
the
see
75
that
foot
before.
distance. So,
number four, I think they met.
if authorized, it would not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. It's out nowhere.
Yeah, that's good.
The neighborhood is, is
Mr. Sherman is very good.
primarily rural. There's only one neighbor, and that's the previous owner. So, and number five is, if it's authorized, it'll present the minimum that will relieve the issue. And that, I think, we could probably find that will be met if we do a permit. But the essential thing, the essential question for you is, do we find that we can issue a permit given the conditions?
I saw the property, and I think if they had had more foresight in replacing their house, they might not have had the problem. I mean, there is a place down below where they can have a garage. It isn't going to be convenient, but
It's going to be very, very hard for access, but we are, in interpreting what we need to do, we can't be concerned about the cost. We, if it's possible to do it, then it is what's possible. Regardless of how much it would be inconvenient so I have a real problem with that because I can see where the limitations are on the property. But I'm also keenly aware that if we don't adhere to the conditions that we grant, we will have future applications that will say, I want to do this, and you already did that for this one. Why aren't you doing it for us? That's a hard place to be.
Yeah, we've already done that once.
Yeah.
Well, I recall we did it for a disabled guy who couldn't, on Route 11.
Yeah, and that,
Steigers.
that shed has been empty. He initially used it to park a car, and it's been nothing but empty since.
Well, that wouldn't be a,
It's too small to use car.
it's weak,
What's reasonable
because the property really couldn't go any
it
place.
couldn't go anywhere else, and also
And
we
he
did
couldn't
make the
access it.
stipulation that it would not be any further than the road is, and then the house itself.
Right.
Into the setback.
And we highly inconvenienced somebody on Hilltop who wanted to make his garage or something addition look nicer, but we insisted that it be a little off kilter because that would be the only way to keep the distance. I don't know how he feels about that now. I'm not sure who it is,
Well,
but we were very strict. And it's true, the house, the plans weren't as nice the way we insisted.
so I need a vote to either find that the application meets the requirements or it does not. Richard, do you have any input here?
Yeah, well, I would vote in favor of it because it seems to me that, and I've kind of been there. It's so remote and it's so unique, and nobody is being offended by this variance. Obviously, the only neighbor doesn't seem to care, possibly encouraging this, I guess. And I mean, at the end of the day, if that's the best option available, I would approve it. I know it doesn't necessarily meet all of our criteria, but that's what variances are all about. When you don't meet the criteria, you
But in
develop
order-
a variance.
As you know, I want to make sure that you understand, in order to do this, we need to find that it meets all 5 criteria,
Well,
all of them. If that is your decision, that's what you have to go by. That's how you vote. But if you say, yeah, he doesn't meet the conditions, but it's such a bad place, we gotta give him a permit anyway. Where does that leave us?
I don't know. It just makes sense to me. That's all. But we'll vote on it, and we'll see what happens. Are we the only of 5 people here tonight?
Yeah, that's all we have today, Richard.
Don't you need 6? Don't you need 6 for a vote?
Well, there are 9 members on the commission. And a quorum is 5 members.
Okay.
So we are legitimate in taking an action.
Okay.
Okay?
So you're saying that to be consistent with past actions, we have to say no. Richard is saying, it's on some level reasonable to say yes, but not the level of past practice.
Yeah, well, because in the past and even today, we are constrained by what it is that we have said in our regulations and that the voters have approved.
We made a guy really unhappy when we made him move his shed to where his children put up. I won't forget that.
Yeah, right. I remember that. Yeah.
You remember that? Oh my God.
Castaldo Road. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But those are the decisions that we're getting all this huge money that they
We'd get more money if we said yes, Mark.
Right?
Okay, does anyone make a motion to, I need the motion to say that the application either meets or does not meet the requirements for granting a variance.
Well, you saw it.
Make the motion that, based on what we saw, that it does not meet all the requirements for a variance to be given.
Okay. A motion has been made. And it is up for discussion. I think we've had all of the discussion that that we're likely to have. And I would make sure that we have a vote that is very specific. And all those in favor of the motion of not granting the variance will say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Yes,
I have.
I would say granted.
There are two opposing views for the motion. The motion does not pass because we only have 3 votes. Through,
You don't vote?
I don't
Break a
usually
tie?
vote until there is a tie.
This is a tie.
If there is a tie, you're right. There is a tie. Oh, my. Well, my vote is no. Or approving the motion that says we do not grant the permit. Okay, so the vote is 3-2, and the application is denied. I will write a reasonable thing in the minutes to reflect what we discussed. So, okay.
I wish we could have
Yes,
some education. I know we've tried to explain to the community that a variance is not, that we have it's not a matter of judgment about what would be reasonable.
It's not about doing
That
things
seems
for
right.
our neighbors.
And so, a variance sounds like it means breaking a rule for me. Thanks.
Yeah, well, it is.
You understand why, and I appreciate that,
Yeah.
but if there were a way to change the words.
Well, the thing is, they have an option of, if, for instance, this application has been denied. If another application were to be submitted, that they will meet, because this application requires us to do 2 things. It requires us to grant a variance from the setback from the center of the road, which is 75 feet. And it also requires us to grant a variance from the requirement that they're 30 feet away from the neighbor's land, okay? Now, if there was
But Joe, am I clear that the neighbor's okay with all this, right?
Yes.
the neighbors have not attended any of the meetings, and the one neighbor that we know about it has not opposed it.
Yeah, the one neighbor that's impacted, right? Okay.
But then how does that significant? How does that signify?
To me, it's
How does
to
that
me-
make the application meet the requirements?
it doesn't, but it's at some level, it just makes total sense. And that's the reasonable thing to do in my mind.
That's true.
Believe me, I've
If
seen
you
a
want to
lot of
take your
things.
argument about the neighbor to the next level, then I could imagine, how much property does the neighbor have? I imagine him dividing the property maybe. and being,
Yeah.
selling it to, a piece of it to somebody who says, oh, I can't give you your price, to give you less because look what's going on with your neighbor, he's too close.
Hmm.
And, um, we're responsible for that future also, on some level.
Well, I mean, the town has changed how much land is required when you buy something, and it went from what, 10 acres, and then it's down to 2.
Well, I don't know.
Who knows,
Or-
people just love coming here, so maybe
Yeah.
an acre will be fine, and, and then there's trouble.
Because this guy's not gonna make it. I mean, I keep thinking, I never get out of my head for 1 minute, Lydia's farm. The property values adjacent to that farm are not, I mean, they shouldn't be paying any taxes. And somehow this is allowed. And some future generation is gonna say, how'd you let them build this house?
Well, that house has probably been there before, since before,
Revelation.
No, the one that we're gonna prevent.
Oh,
We're going to
if we-
permit.
If we permit it.
Glenn, you had something, Glenn represents the owners, and, I would like him to, chime in on whatever it is come on, a little closer.
I don't need to be on TV. Thanks. I appreciate you guys taking the time to look at our variance. I realize we fell short on both those distances. I would like to present to you guys Plan B, which should meet your 30 feet on both sides and 75 feet from the, center line of that road. So this is my
So then,
sketch.
if you have a Plan B that meets all those requirements, it does not need a permit.
Variance.
A variance.
It doesn't need a variance.
Yep, right, so
That's-
you guys have denied the first one, so I'm presenting you our Plan B. Had the first one passed, I wouldn't present this to you.
Okay, well,
So is this something I give you to review now, or how does this work?
well.
And
while
this
we're
is
talking-
just a
while
rough
we're
sketch.
talking,
That's a very
well,
rough sketch.
I will ask the members to have a look at that. Maybe you could come over here and explain what it is.
You're saying that it does, you're not asking to violate any of the
I'm
distances.
30 feet from Mr. Sherman's property line on both sides.
Then you don't need
I'm
a
70,
variance.
I don't need a variance, but we'd kind of like a permit to build this.
Right.
So,
Can't have a building permit.
so that's what we're going to look at.
You need a variance.
Where are you doing?
So when you folks did the site visit, this is the parking lot where you're all parked.
Yeah.
And this was our Plan A.
Right,
We were 6 feet off Mr. Sherman's property line
right.
and 25 feet from the center line, thereabouts.
Mhm.
This parking lot's existing, the house is existing, and this is a grass access to the back of the house with their fuel,
Oh, yeah.
septic system and all that.
Right.
So I've gone from the center of this road back 75 feet. I've gone from Mr. Sherman's property line over here 30 feet and from his property line here, and that location meets all of those requirements. I would certainly like you folks to, maybe do a site visit with me at some point to verify that everything I'm telling you is accurate. But that is our Plan B. And that's a very rough sketch, so.
I like it. I like, because I like it
But,
that we're not being asked to make judgments about what's possible. You see, one of the things we don't do when we do site visits, we don't suggest anything about how you could deal with it. Because that's not our job,
I understand.
it's your job.
Yeah,
But, if this Plan B does not require any variance,
then go ahead.
I wanna wish you well. And I wanna give you, maybe I'll tell you what. I'll give it back to you. And, you can go and see the, administrative officer and ask him for a permit. See what it is you wanna do.
We have we got an application for the garage when all this started, but
Yeah.
we couldn't, he couldn't issue one until the variance.
That's why I say he can't issue a permit to build unless
Right.
he has a variance approval.
So
If you don't
I'll-
need an approval.
I'll take a copy of that and then put it with the application for the garage permit to give the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will.
So Glenn, if you want to, just go back and do your thing. Tell your customers you've solved their problems. And I'm very happy that you solved our problem.
Yeah. Well, we're not looking for anything from you folks that's not reasonable, so.
You know, all of us sitting here, we do this because we want to make sure that our neighbors are doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
And but there are hard times when we really want to help them. And with the regulations we're given, we can't,
Right.
so.
So my only question, while I have a few minutes of your time.
Sure.
Is there any distance from the property line to a driveway? Because the road that's gonna access that garage
Hmm.
is still gonna be within 10 feet of the
Well,
property
the
line.
driveway is a private driveway. It's not an access that the municipality has an interest in.
Right,
It's simply for the convenience of the owner.
You're asking if a driveway could be at any distance from the line?
yes, because this
Only
particular,
the building.
There's no regulation about the driveway.
okay,
Well, I mean, my driveway is within 2 feet of my property line,
yeah.
so,
In your driveway's also right on the town road.
yeah, right.
I just didn't wanna tell the owners, look, we're all set, we're good, and then find out that I couldn't put the driveway there. That would be a crisis.
There's no regulation as to the location of the driveway.
Okay,
One thing, and that doesn't apply to you, but one of the requirements is that the driveway not obstruct. The plantings on the driveway don't obstruct the turning ratio when you're turning into the town road. That's kind of thing, but that's not an issue for you.
right.
But I'm glad you came up with Plan B.
I thought you might be.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I commend you for doing the thing for your customer, I'll tell you. That was a hard thing to do.
Well, you're welcome. Is there anything else you folks need from me?
No, we're all set. We have a vote that says we can't do it. You have come up with a plan to do it. That meets all the requirements, and I'm happy. Yeah.
So you guys will then notify the owners that, is there some process here?
Well, what I'll do is I will write the minutes. And the minutes will reflect the fact that the vote was not to grant the permit, the variance.
Okay,
And from there, they can decide whether they're gonna go with Plan B.
okay, very good.
So, thanks.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good evening.
And having,
Okay.
Hello, can you guys hear us?
hello,
Yeah,
We've been
we
here
can
the
see- we can
whole
hear.
time. Hi,
And who are
I'm
you?
Dr.
You're the
Doris,
owner.
Dr. Lou, hello. Thank you
oh,
for your time.
you're the owners.
Yes, yes, we've been listening the whole time.
Oh,
Very,
good.
very fascinating. This is by one vote, huh?
I tell you, you have a good guy working for you.
Oh, he's fantastic. We love
Yeah.
him, Glenn. I thank you and I appreciate you guys, all the effort and the thoughtfulness you put into it.
We wish you well. Thanks. And that concludes old business. That was I'm glad about it.
It's hard to say no to it.
Yes, it does, isn't it?
And you make it easy by being strict. I don't mean easy, but I mean,
Yeah. But-
possible.
My thing is, if we do something that somebody doesn't like, that somebody says you didn't do it right, if they go to a state official or the environmental board and say they granted a permit and that it doesn't meet any of the or all of the requirements, then we're on the hook, because then we have to defend what it is we did. there's no way we can defend it. Because if we say, yeah, well, they didn't meet the criteria, but they're neighbors, we want to do the right thing for them. We want to be neighborly, you know? And that, well, what it does, it puts the town in a position of having to defend something that we did.
Sorry about that. We had gotten disconnected.
Hi.
Sorry about that. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys for your time and effort and thoughtfulness. Okay. Yeah, we were listening to the meeting the whole entire time.
Well, now you know why we're doing what we do.
Yes. And Sherman was okay with us building that there. You know, we're
Yes.
gonna put something that makes the area look nicer, not take away from anything. So
That's great.
so plan B, and no, I'd spoken to Glenn earlier, so we were on the same page with that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, right. I think you'll have a very nice place over there with the access that you need.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is another variance.
Oh,
You should stay.
And I sent
You're
you,
on skids.
if I can
Put it on skids.
well, you know, that is a possibility.
I know,
We did that for Chris,
Yes.
what's his name?
Yeah.
Chris Carlock.
yes,
Yeah, I remember. It goes back a ways, doesn't it?
yes.
Anyway, but, the people at Horseshoe Acres want to build a cover for their bandstand.
No, the bandstand is just a trailer.
And I was talking to the town clerk this morning, and she thinks that is on rolls, on wheels,
Yes, it's on the trailer.
is it?
Yes,
So they can move it anywhere,
yes.
and they don't need a permit. They can
If it's
put,
movable. If it's
well,
movable,
the thing, yeah, Richard, we have a provision that says unless the building is attached to the ground.
right,
It's-
right.
It could move anywhere,
Yeah,
and it
absolutely.
don't need a permit.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's like on Howard Hill when Reggie had those tractor trailers up there, but they were movable apparently. You know,
Yeah.
so if it's movable,
But anyway,
then it's out of our purvey.
What do we want to do with I've scheduled the first look on what they said they want to do. Let's see, I sent did you send the application?
Yeah, so I remember reading it.
I think so.
I mean, I don't remember seeing their fences off, I remember some more testing.
Been there for over a year.
Well,
The trailer is there for over a year. They've been holding bands and stuff for the entertainment of
yeah,
the people at Horseshoe Acres.
okay.
But Gerald he's on Zoom, so if you'd like to say something,
Who?
uh,
Mr. Janauer?
yeah. He's on. Gerald, can you hear us? I can see his name.
Is he muted?
He is muted.
How would you feel about doing a site visit?
I just drove by it.
Well, I mean, to see what the actual situation is.
It's a trailer. Okay, that's what it is. It's a platform
Uh-huh,
and they have supports to level it up
yeah,
and that's it.
but
It's
it
just
could be
platform.
moved,
Yes,
it could be moved.
yes.
And the idea of building a cover for it, is that something that's on top of the thing?
Yes,
Or is it separate?
It's on top because they want a case of rain
Mm.
to protect the people who are performing.
What about walls?
Oh, okay,
So I was thinking you could also just do it like a tent over it.
well, I mean,
Whatever.
if the structure itself is not attached to the line,
It's not,
then they
They don't need a
don't
permit.
need a permit.
right, it's not attached.
Right.
Um,
And they probably, do they move it in the winter? I was gonna say they probably move it in the winter out of the way.
It's out of the way now. And
Yeah.
what it is, it's positioned such that it's closer to the road so that all the audience can be on the open
Right.
space on the other side.
Right.
That's what it is.
Makes sense.
well, if, you know, as I said, if
It's not attached.
if it's not
It's
attached,
not attached.
he doesn't need anything
Right.
if he wants to put a cover on it.
No problem. It's not attached. You can move it with the tractor.
Well, I think what we need from him is, maybe you can make sure that he gives us information about whether the basic structure, the bandstand is attached to the land.
It's not.
Or whether he
We
intends to
need
attend it.
his statement to do this.
Right.
Yeah. We need to make sure that we have the information that says you don't need a permit because it's not attached. And if you want to put a cover on there, you don't need a permit for that either.
But
Right.
if you want to attach it back,
Then,
Yeah, that's a whole different story.
well, you don't know.
Yeah.
He's thinking if he doesn't tell you.
but that's the thing. What we need from him is a statement that says, it's not attached to the land. And, if it's not, then we can decide that, we can tell him you don't need a permit.
Right.
But we need that statement from him in the record so that we have a reasonable reason to make a decision like that. Can you do that?
Yeah, I will, I'll send them a email or whatever, follow up and.
And take pictures, please, take pictures of the, of the
Trailer.
the
Floor,
thing that's on wheels,
space.
if you could.
Okay,
Or maybe I could send George over there to take pictures.
Give me the camera.
Take your phone.
Yeah.
I don't even,
Wait a second. Flip phone.
oh, you know, I tell you, I've gotten so used to my phone. My son got me a phone, but, well, when his mother passed 3 years ago, I'm still finding out how to use that thing. You accept, the one thing I do know how to do is take pictures.
Me too, that's about it.
And I have forgot all about how to use my wife's camera. She had a beautiful camera that was wide angle and all going. I have no idea how to use it.
Well, you'd have to take it with you when you were gonna go
That's of
somewhere.
course, yeah.
You're from here.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Okay, so on this issue here, the application for a variance, we will need information about the status of the building of the structure itself, whether it's attached to the land or not, and some idea about how tall that cover is going to be. Because there is a
Yeah.
restriction about,
The existing trailer is probably 3 feet off the ground.
well, the only restriction that I can see as to the height of it is that we can't be more than 30 feet off the ground.
There's no problem. If you go more than 30 feet, you're gonna defeat keeping the rain out.
There you go. Okay, so we will leave that unfinished. We will reconsider the information when we got it the next time. Okay?
Yep.
And as part of our regular agenda, we have a public comment period.
I see 3 people in there. Oh,
Jim,
I just-
anyone wish to make a public comment? If not, unless there is any other business that Jonathan can tell us about,
no, I can't. Can't think of anything.
well, then I guess what we're doing is adjourning the meeting at 6:41.